Hello, ladies, gentlemen, non-binaries, and everybody else under the rainbow of our wonderful community. How are you doing today? We are back again with Sexy Spicy September, playing Ballads at Midnight. In case you didn't know, we're live over on Twitch with this VOD, and we actually have the dev in the chat with us, so that's very exciting tonight and not nerve-wracking at all for me. So just a quick synopsis, Ballads at Midnight. When a sarcastic bard is arrested and exiled to an abandoned castle, she expected to be at the mercy of a hungry, bloodthirsty vampire. Synstoria has got me into vampires. Great, I thought that was out the window with Twilight, and yet here I am again. Okay. She soon discovers that the vampire Lucius, that's a really good fucking name, shit, is not starving. He's gravely bored. She may just survive on borrowed time, one ballad each midnight. You read the title and the synopsis. You did. Good job. Nice! As always, guys, the information for this game and my socials are going to be down in the description box below, so check that out if you enjoy this VOD. And with that, let's go over to the game and say hi to Twitch chat. Okay, Twitch, you're live. I did it in one go! I don't know if I forgot anything, but I don't feel like I forgot anything, so I'm going to keep it. It was one to 3 times. Y'all believed in me, and I delivered. Oh my god, that was fucking good. Flex, thank you, Tompy, I need that. Oh, YouTube, that flex is for you. Oh, I'm nice, I won't bite. You know, you don't bite, Synstoria. Oh, I'm so excited, though. I feel like I read that really early on when you were posting things about the game, but as with other Otome games that I'm playing this month, I'm trying not to read anything. I'm trying to take the game like just at face value, nothing beyond the synopsis. That as some games, I didn't even know who I was romancing. So, just a quick thing. I'll always show you my settings. I'm in window, text speed is up. Auto speed. I really liked this. There was text settings and sound settings. They were separated. I think that's a really, really nice touch. Voice volume's all the way up. Music's about half. I don't know what the sound is, so I just put it up. We will see. And that's where we are. And let's go. Gwynny! Before we go any further, this is my child. I want to say hi to Sabo. Sabo's here. Sabo's here. Okay, Sabo, Mama's gonna try to like flirt with a really hot vampire. I know. I didn't think I would be doing this again since my preteen years, and yet here we are. Mama gonna bring you home a new daddy. Let's go. What are we predicting? What? Okay, sorry, I was like, what's my predictions doing? Anyway, let's go. Let's start. Check all my settings one more time. Prelude to Dawn. Oh. I know there's voice acting in this a little bit because I saw some stuff on Twitter about people getting hired for it, so hell yeah. My wrist itch. My stomach is churning and empty. My legs are sore. The swath of hemp fabric, strung taut around my cheeks and tied in a knot behind my head, is chafing against the corners of my mouth. Okay, with all the love and respect I can, Synstoria is about to make me look like an idiot on the internet because these are big words, and if I didn't read fantasy, I don't know if I'd be able to know. I wouldn't know what they are anyway, but now I have to read them out loud. So it's impolite society all over again. There's a bitterness on my tongue. I idly wonder if it's the taste of regret. My 2 armored escorts ride ahead of me, exchanging hushed words. I make a short, unhappy noise to contribute to the conversation. She's snarky, I like it. They ignore me. But are you sure, sir? Really, are you? Shouldn't we stop and make camp? Before sundown, sir? The younger guardsman is jittery and demanding, with a stooped posture that reminds me of a rat. His round face is marred by pockmarks and worry lines. No need. We're making good time. The other guard, as old and large as a cavern wall, has a deep, crusty voice, well suited to his frame. I once saw him struggle to fit through a door. The pockmarked guard glances toward the horizon line, gritting his teeth. But, sir, enough. We will be rid of her today. Be rid of me? Like being rid of some piss-stained rug? How rude. What did I ever do to warrant such objectification? Got it, I got through it, it's okay, we did it. Feeling vexed, I continue to groan and yowl against the hemp between my teeth. It's inarticulate and far from the most graceful sound I've ever made, but I make it sound increasingly urgent. I don't want to give her too much of a voice because I really want to see what the voice actor gives her, and then I can semi-try to like match that, because I don't want to give her a voice and then it be completely different than what has been chosen for her. Noise and more noise. One of them pulls the reins on his horse, dismounting with a dull, armored clatter, like a rattling dish cabinet. It's the younger one. Good. He approaches me, muttering swears as he reaches back to yank the gag from my head. What? Convict, what is it now? You had no business! Oh, wait. Is this the same character artist as Imperial Grace? Is this the same character artist? Because 1, I'm very attracted to her. 2, they do shit where, you know, they give plunging necklines to all the hot characters. It is? It is. Okay, yes it is. I blame them, but also thank them because, yes, that is the design you... Oh, God, yeah. Yep, that's the design. That is the design. Look how... And then... God. Okay, see, she doesn't need to be the one tied up. She needs to be tying me up, okay? That's all. Oh, God. Oh, my... And then I read this first one. Most people buy me a drink before they bring out the gag. Wink. Oh, my God, the facial expressions! They match, like, the feeling. You're all ingrates, you hear me? Low-browed, barbaric boneheads, the whole lot of you start screaming. No, we can be flirty. And Reaper has now entered horny. Y'all act like I don't live there. Where's the welcome message? Where is the welcome message? You gotta buy me a drink first. Come on, sweetie. Most people buy me a drink before they bring out the gag. Me, a prisoner. Oh, is there... I'm sorry, did I... Sensoria, is there voice acting? Or is it like at more prominent points? There is. I know there is, because I've heard the guy's voice actor, and I thought that was hot. Okay, I guess I'll have to give her somewhat of a voice. Ah, she's so... don't look at me like that. This is gonna give me so much... This game is gonna give me so... You're gonna hear a lot of bisexual confused noises in this game, I can just tell. Okay, yes, but not immediately, okay. Stop it. He hisses the words low under his breath, though through his ears glow a traitorous shade of tomato red. It wasn't funny the first time, and it won't be funny the next time. There won't even be a next time at the rate we're going. I can say it pretty fast, I think. Gods, you really haven't learned your lesson. What's wrong with you? He almost sounds amazed. If my hands were untied, I'd twirl my wrist and do a curtsy. So instead, I sidle up to him, reaching out to brush my knuckles near his waistband. She's a bard! She is a bard! We didn't know this! She is a bard. What's wrong? I wager you know exactly what's wrong. I was under the impression we'd moved past ritualistic sacrifice as a civilization, you see? I thought we were better than all this. Yet here you knuckleheads are, dragging me through the woods to feed me to a god-forsaken vampire. I stomp on a branch when I get close enough. The ensuing crack obscures the sound as I unsheathe the dagger from his belt. She multi-classed. She's a bard and a rogue. Bitch multi-classed. I palm it under my sleeve in a quick motion, hoping my ruse goes unnoticed. The guard stumbles away from me. He draws his sword to keep me at bay, snarling. Should have looked for the dagger, sweetie. You keep away, you heretic. Don't come near me. I raise my bound wrists in front of my chest, widening my eyes to look appropriately frightened. And I still have his dagger. By the time he clambers. I'm gonna go with clambers. Back onto his horse. His older companion extends his arm and smacks the back of the young guardsman's head. Idiot. Now we have to listen to her belly aching for the rest of the journey. Do we? The younger guard rubs his head, sounding defensive. She's caused nothing but trouble. Why not slit her throat and be done with it? Let the wildlife take care of the remains. Ah! The old guard hits him again. I'd find humor in this slapstick routine if they weren't discussing my imminent demise. Shush, boy. We carry Her Majesty's orders to the letter, you and I. No shortcuts. Is this the Majesty of, Imperial Grace? Same universe, maybe? Nah, I don't know. You know the severity of our laws. Underhanded practice will cost you your damn hands. The pockmarked guard hunches further at the shoulders. His eyes dart around like he wants to argue, but he begrudgingly clamps his mouth shut. I, on the other hand, have a dogged penchant for making my observations known, and am blessed with quick retorts. Or just cross the fingers if you're lucky, I noticed our wise old man here's missing a digit or two. I raise my restrained palms, wiggling my fingers. They glower balefully at me. Wow. I'm sorry, there's a lot of L's there. I got very tangled up. I've seen actual battlefields, harlot. Do not liken me to your crooked bar-brawling ilk. Convict, heretic, and now harlot. Wonderful. I roll my eyes and wrinkle my nose at him. I'll bet anything that the old man is lying. Illuvia hasn't waged any wars in the past half-century. Yep, that is different. There's no vampires in Imperial Grace, and that is a different place. That's a different world. Yep. I do slightly remember some of the names. That was not a name I remember. Furthermore, he boasted to my jailers that he's been assigned to this post for the brunt of his service to the crown. But I know better than to push my luck with him. He's more prone to violence than the other guardsmen. I used to lag behind at the start of our journey, defiant and stubborn. The old one never hesitated to yank the rope around my wrists, lurching me right into brambles and sharp stones. Defying him, I learned, meant having scraped palms and knees at best. Our pace carefully slows when we cross over a mossy log in a series of thick, tangled roots. For the horse's sake, of course, rather than mine. I work my jaw in silence for a while, keeping a measured distance behind them. My grip on the dagger is unwieldy and clumsy. Aiming it toward my bonds is trickier than I imagined. I flinch at the pointed tip jabs against my inner arm, but shoot the guards a winning smile when they turn to look at me. So, good old cursed forest, eh? Did you volunteer to escort prisoners through the blighted brush, or was it, an inherited post? Father's father and such. The The pockmarked guard scoffs and mimics my words under his breath. Nothing to fear in these old woods, lass. Not if you're properly armed. Nothing but bears and wolves. People steer clear because they fear what lies in wait beyond. Surely you know that much. The men don't deign to tell me that word! I've come across it like 4 times in games now. I don't know to tell. They don't tell me how they were assigned to their roles. None of my business, I suppose. Andrea, good evening. We're doing good. I'm going to find a father for my son, but I might have already found a mom. So, mommy. An overhead canopy of leaves parts, allowing patches of sunlight to heat my scalp and cheek. The background is also gorgeous. Art, 10 out of 10. The journey has been long and exhausting, but not altogether difficult. I'd even consider it idyllic from its perpetual backdrop of birdsong and distantly running water. Any sense of leisure sinks and coils at the pit of my stomach as I realize the birds have gone silent, and the sound of water has risen into a dull roar. Before us is a murky disk of water blemished green with algae, miles long, miles wide, and a harrowingly uncertain depth. A jagged, ostentatious estate, protruding from the ground like a sword through someone's back, looms across the water's expanse. Okay, just really quickly, I want to thank them for putting us in, like, you know, within distance of the hot vampire very, very quickly. There is no, like, you know, too much of setting a scene. We are a prisoner, and we're being given to a vampire. We have gotten to it, and I want all the time to be spent giving this vampire ballads at midnight, even though he can't sleep, but, you know, maybe he'll fall asleep. I don't know, but not the first decrepit castle I've seen in my travels, but perhaps it may be my last. That's where I'll be staying then. Home sweet home. Shit, I barely shorn through a quarter of my restraints. Even if I make a break for it now, they'd run me down on horseback. I tried it before, back when they marched me through the greater plains. They nearly trampled me into paste. Quiet down, you sorry lass. You may wish to take this time to consider your last words. That's not a bad idea. I could hit you with a real zinger before I go. The old guard groans, mumbling a bitter prayer. I barely have time to hide the dagger before he dismounts and shoves me with more force than necessary. Fuck! I'm just imagining hiding that and then also not stabbing yourself with it as you're falling or, you know, whatever. He loads me unceremoniously into a ramshackle little boat, leaving the pockmarked guard to deal with me while he tends to the horses. My breath catches when the remaining guard takes the seat opposite to me. His gawky movements nearly makes the boat capsize before we've even left the shore. The boat cuts through algae like a knife. Over on dry land, the old guardsman takes a heavy seat in the grass as he watches the sun descend. It's a more serene view than he deserves. I take a deep breath and open my mouth to shout. Oh my god, I didn't even notice, like, it's ripped. I know it's supposed to be ripped and be like, ah, she doesn't have good clothing. But no, it just makes it hotter. That just makes it hotter. You old bastard. Overgrown prune. Yeah, I'm calling you a bastard. Why not? You old bastard! The young guard bites back a chuckle and clears his throat. I suppose he's freer to find revelry now that we're a safe distance away. As I warily crane my neck around, I observe how the water completely surrounds the estate. That makes us a moat. But there curiously isn't a drawbridge in sight. At its northeast and westward edges, the moat connects to a river. Following one side will likely lead one straight to the Rubifian Ocean. It's quite lovely, really, to be surrounded by such a wealth of natural water. Shame I never learned how to swim. She's so snarky. I respect the snark. I don't suppose I can persuade you to ferry me over yonder, all the way around the estate, on the other side of the shore? The guard elects not to reply. He won't even look at me now. What's up, Grant? Oh, what did you do? I can't even see it in chat. Automod got you good, buddy. How you doing this morning, Grant? Morning for you, evening for me. Aside from the oars carving through the water, the remaining boat ride is hushed and nerve-wracking. I sit up straight and stock still, trying to keep my weight centered despite the stinging insects nipping at my neck and ankles. The sun turns red as it dips closer to the horizon. It takes half an hour to reach the other side, if not longer. Beyond the lip of the water is a carved ledge, with a pit of trenches surrounding the estate's perimeter. Oh, this is so pretty. The guard wastes no time in forcing me upright and pushing me off the side. Thanks! I fall into a roll, barely cushioned by the impact of grassy mud. I aim myself back up with effort, ready to yell the insult boiling at the tip of my tongue. To my surprise, the young guard is still up there, lingering at the edge. Miss me already? Hesitating doesn't make you better than him. Miss me already? I just like making her really, like, flirty and snarky. Miss me already? I quirk my head to the side and bat my eyelashes at him. His response is slow and deliberate. I won't even remember you by tomorrow. I hardly know you, convict. And you don't even know my name. Who needs names? We're two ships passing in the night, you and I. But it's not too late to change that, We could still run off into the sunset together. Come on, help me up. With the sun setting behind the guardsman, his features are cast in unreadable shadow. I just unlocked Silver Tongue achievement. I don't know. I've just been flirty, like, as fuck. And Sensoria's like, yes, let's give the flirty people achievement. His fingers twitch and tap at his side. He casts an uneasy glance over his shoulder before, finally, he grumbles and rummages through his overcoat. From it, he pulls out the neck of a familiar instrument and throws it onto the ground with me. I cry out as my lute lands in the mud, nearly falling onto my own shoulders. I reach and fail to catch it. You'll owe me in your next life, convict. I hope this accursed thing provides you some comfort in your final moments. I glare up at him. Old guy made you nervous, didn't he? All that talk about cutting off hands for being underhanded? Shut up. I knew you were acting jumpy for a reason. I just knew it. You were gonna pawn off my poor little beauty here, and now you don't want to risk getting caught with it. Harlot! He spits at me before he hurries away. I listen for the sound of the boat sloshing into the water, and the creak of oars shortly thereafter. Now, why is it when people don't know how else to argue with a woman, they must remark on how frequently she has sex? Just want to let that, hit home. Going back. That was a good ass line, okay? Bruh. Yeah, Gwynny. Bruh. With effort, I dislodge the dagger from the inside of my sleeve. It's still unwieldy, but cutting myself loose is a little easier when I don't need to hide the blade from my captors. I pick up my lute, carefully wiping off the dirt and grime before I check and adjust its strings. I I holster it across my back where it belongs. Ooh, okay. It's thankfully intact. But I'm not sure if I can say the same about myself. Friday means nothing. Friday does not mean anything. It doesn't. I know I need to come up with a plan. I need to explore and get familiar with my surroundings. Seek out a hiding spot where there's still daylight. But my entire body is aching. I won't get far if I push myself to move now. I checked the insides of my clothes for the last of my possessions, kept safe and hidden under the lining. I've never been more grateful to have learned invisible stitching. A handful of coins and my songwriting journal are all I have left. I had hidden a number of small blades on my person, but I was too reckless in my previous escape attempts. I kept getting caught, and they confiscated all my knives. This guardsman's dagger isn't too shabby, at least. I tucked the blade into my belt, careful not to poke myself. I'll be ready to use it when it's dark. The ledge I fell from casts a long shadow. I edge away from it into the remaining light, and I concentrate on taking deep, rejuvenating breaths. It's a creature of the night. I've heard it can change its very shape. If it pursues me in the form of some animal, I doubt I can outrun it for long. It's wisest to save my strength so I can battle whatever form it takes. After all, I'm determined not to go down easily. Guys, I don't know if I said this. Chapter 2, short chapters. I can do 2 chapters in a stream. Hell yeah. Rhapsodic. Is it rhapsodic? Rhapsodic. Introductions. I don't know if I've said it, guys, or if you weren't here. We have the dev in chat, Miss Senstoria, so please feel free to maybe ask her some questions if she's down to answer. She's also, her and her team are creating Imperial Grace, which is a game I'm still looking forward to. So chapter 2, Dusk Falls. There's barely a sliver of apricot orange glowing across the horizon, which means my shelter of light dims and shrinks by the minute. I shiver as the evening cold burrows under my clothes, and I sense the vampire just moments before I hear it speak. Thank you! Thank you! We didn't have this long time of, you know, like, living in the forest. Like, the vampire's gonna fucking find me, so he's found me. Yes! Oh no. My chair is on my... There we go. My chair was on my mic. Yes! Thank you.
Well, well, another gift from the crown.
Okay, oh, okay, if her voice is sexy too, I am fucked. I am fucked. The creature's airy, serpentine voice moves around me as it prowls beyond the perimeter of remaining light. It's watching me, circling me like a vulture. Is the voice high enough? Like, is the sound okay? I will turn up the voice more so we can hear it. You know what? I feel like I'm just gonna turn it up just a little more because I feel like we want this. We all want this. I will talk louder to be louder than the sound.
What grievous crimes you must have committed to be sent all the way here.
Daddy, sorry! Oh, that's a good fucking voice indeed, chat. I draw my dagger, pointing it at the source. You don't hear it a lot? I will make it louder. Let's do this. I can do sound settings and I can pull down, the music a little bit. There we go. I draw my dagger, pointing it at the source.
Assessing your dinner, beast? Your mother should have taught you not to play with your food.
Yeah. That's a voice. Yep. That's a good voice for her. The voice lapses into a complete I am flustered. I am a flustered bisexual. It's very hard to read between these two. The voice lapses into a contemplative hum. My heart hammers against my ribs as I lose track of the vampire in the silence. I twist around, catching sight of its eyes reflected in moonlight, right when it lunges. The vampire snatches me by the wrist. The skin on his dark, clawed hand bumbles under the waning sunlight before it wrenches me into the shadows. My dagger clatters to the ground. That was useful!
You're talkative. I usually like it when they're talkative.
See, that's a problem because I don't want to talk at all. I just want to listen to your voice. Okay, Miss Bard, I just...
But yours is an insolent nature. No doubt you've ended up here by disrespecting some local authority.
Headphones? Do you want to work for me, buddy? I need this voice in my life. The vampire hoists my arm above our heads, positioning us face to face as he regards me. There's too. I've read too many books. That immediately went to a different direction in my head. Can he say ada ada? Oh, that would be so good. I'm not gonna lie. I scrutinize him in turn. He bears similarities to a human man, but I steal a glance upward, observing his already healed hand with dismay.
You smell of chain rust, fresh soil, dried blood, and incense.
Incense?
Yeah, I'm a big hit with nuns and orphans.
There we go. Okay, when she's scared, like, of course she's scared, but her confident voice, it does it, yes, it does it. I'm gonna, I don't know, it's hard for me as well. I think I love the music, and the music's super nice. I don't know what the sound is, but I'll put that down. But I want more of them. Sorry. What am I doing? This isn't the time for banter. I struggle in his grasp. He steps forward, and we remain blanketed under the gloom of darkness. There's a small clatter underfoot as he drives his boot under my dagger, kicks it upright, and then snatches the blade out of the air in a fluid motion. He twirls the dagger between his long fingers, appraising it. I really like how the characters are in this side of the screen because he's still in shadow. And, like, again, he has pulled her towards him. So I really like the location of the characters. That was really smart.
Most unusual. Few of my guests manage to smuggle a means to escape their bonds.
Yeah, I'm something. I'm something else.
If I had to wager, you must be a talented cutpurse. Which wouldn't be the worst offense, all things considered.
Stop manhandling me!
Seriously? Yes, babe! With my free open palm, I smack him hard across the face and yank my captive hand free. Hell yeah! He flinches at the blow, looking more astonished than anything. I don't stay long enough to watch how he reacts next. I run. My lungs are heavy in my chest and my body is screaming at me to catch my breath, but I can't stop now. There's nothing I can use in the courtyard. My only choice is to head into the estate and hope to find a means of escape. You're gonna go into his house that he knows better than we do. Insanity makes you do really strange things. I'll be honest, this was me though, and I was going into the house. I would not be looking for a means of escape. I'm just saying. Hot. Very hot indeed. Oh my god, this is a thing. This is the thing with having voice actors for games. I love voice actors in games. I love it. I think it adds another level to characters. But when I thirst over the voices, and then I have to remind myself that this is someone's actual voice, and it's like, they ever see this, they're gonna think I'm the craziest bitch on the planet. Like, and then when I'm doing stuff on stream and I got the dev in the chat, she can totally be like, hey, voice actors, this streamer really liked your voices and was going fucking gaga over it and, like, you know, was wanting you guys to say, like, she could ruin my whole career. There's gotta be a ladder or something I can use to scale that damned ledge. Then I just need to find something buoyant, like a wood panel or a door, something. Because there's only one of you. Like, you're the only one that's gonna be on it, so you wouldn't have to, you know, push Jack off or anything. Rose. They could have both fit on that door is all I'm saying. I run down dizzying, identical hallways. He's used to it? Of course he is. With a voice like that person probably has men, women, non-binary swooning all the goddamn time. Fucking hell. So basically what you're saying is I'm just another number in the list. Good. Good for him. Good for him. Down several cavernous rooms, displacing dining chairs and overturning saloon end tables in my wake. But there's nothing I can use to escape. Nothing I can narrow down in my panic. All the while, the vampire follows me with an even stride. He rubs his cheek with narrowed eyes. Yeah, that might not have been the best. Oh, but he's so hot. Oh. Don't know why. There's a bit of the gray in there, and I'm into it. Oof, 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 oof.
Will you slow down? This is terribly tedious.
No.
I really want her, I know she's running from a vampire, but I really want her confident voice back. The delivery in that one line was so fucking good. I want that. I want that bard back. He hasn't changed his shape, but I know how quickly he can pounce if I let him near. I can't let him get close. I topple a nearby cabinet, sending it careening onto the floor between us. The vampire makes a small offended noise amid the sound of crashing glass. You probably just destroyed his whole china collection. What the hell? Before he can react further, I seize a standing vase and hold it aloft, ready to throw.
Stop it. Calm down.
I pivot my grasp on the lid of the vase, bending my arms menacingly. Water and flowers slosh onto the floor.
You dare to tell me to calm down? Really?
There's an audible muffled sigh when the vampire steeples his hands in front of his nose.
I despise the chase. Look at this blasted mess.
The man is like, you are destroying my house? Please stop.
You realize no one else lives here? After you're gone, who do you think has to clean up the remains of your rampage?
Even they said I'm not your maid. Oh my fucking. Oh, okay. Yep.
I'm sorry. Are you criticizing the way I'm fighting for my life?
That was in a post somewhere, and I do remember that line. I loved that delivery.
You must understand, mortal. Despite what the good people of Illuvia will have you believe, I have no bestial compulsion to take your life. All right?
I love that he's got one. There's just things I really fucking love.
Though I'll admit you have sorely tempted me with the prospect of your demise, there is a civilized alternative worth considering.
A civilized alternative to becoming a withered, bloodless corpse decorating his hallway? I keep the vase aloft, halfway between willful rebellion and uncertain curiosity.
I'm listening.
That is all I ask. First of all, this here.
He dangles the dagger from between two fingers, as if it's a dirty sock he found in my chambers.
As a show of good faith, I will return to you this nasty little thing. In exchange, you will not stab me with it. Its blade is neither sharp nor long enough to kill me, but it will deeply annoy me. If I am deeply annoyed, I will be forced to rescind my good faith and tear you to shreds.
Even when he's threatening me, I just keep thinking, Daddy. Fuck!
Understood?
I furrow my brows, but I nod. It makes sense. If I actually want to incapacitate him, I'd at least need a larger weapon. I've yet to hear any myths where vampires are notoriously weak to standard cavalry daggers.
Good girl. Here.
No! You knew what you were doing, didn't you? You knew what you were doing when you wrote that in the script. Oh my god, I'm not! No! Sistoria, I will not survive this playthrough! No! Wait, is there more? Wait. Ladies and gentlemen, non-binaries of YouTube and Twitch, I think the dev just told me there's more of lines like that. I am in trouble. We hydrating. Thank you, chat. Oh my god. He tosses the dagger over to me. It slides along the floor until I stop it with the heel of my boot. I don't bend to pick it up.
Our next matter at hand is the barter. I've been known to spare and set my prisoners free in exchange for knowledge or for an item of substantial value. Fortunately for you, I noticed the loot strapped to your back while you were racing through my abode.
Oh no. I pivot my torso away, trying in vain to hide the instrument from sight.
Come now, don't be selfish. Give it to me and you will have your freedom.
Dude! You're not taking my loot! I don't care how much of a daddy you are! No! She grabbed for that thing! No, you're not taking my goddamn loot!
Your life will be yours again. Keep away from Illuvia and lay low for several years, and the crown will be none the wiser.
Can't lose my loot? Fuck off!
I can't.
What?
I've cared for it ever since I was a little girl. How can I possibly give it up now?
I can't give it to you. No. I nearly lost it once already.
Nothing is stopping you from purchasing a new one once you have your freedom.
Sentimental value is a thing, sweetie.
Certainly you'll have to save up for a while. I recognize the value of an average instrument, let alone how much an artisan lute must cost now after centuries of inflation. However, you will have plenty of chances to...
No. No. I said I won't give it to you.
Why not?
Because I love it. Why is he angry at me? Hypocrite? I raise my voice to match his tone. I can't help it. I get competitive.
You imply me to be insensitive on the grounds of trampling through your home, but what about you? Demanding my only means of providing for myself.
Good shit. Let's go, babe.
Your only means? Nonsense. You're able-bodied, young, far from hideous. Once you have your freedom, I'm quite certain you'll figure something out.
You're kind of leading me down like a different path. I did not appreciate that. I have talents, sir.
Your venerable age must have impaired your hearing then, vampire, because I'm not sure you quite caught it when I repeatedly said no. I am not giving it to you.
Let's go, MC! Holy shit!
Fine. Then you're not leaving.
Okay, Beauty and the Beast, got it. He flings his hands skywards, turning and stalking towards the nearest window.
I pray you'll have fun rotting in here for the remainder of your brief and miserable existence, mortal. At which point you and I might have something in common.
Ooh, the fade out was oh. The fade out and the mist just suddenly going away. Oh, that was so good. He erupts into a vicious flurry of black mist. Once the smoke clears, I see the flapping outline of a bat soaring out the window and into the night. I think I saw something like fly through here a moment ago. Oh. I groan between gritted teeth, jostling the stupid vase that I'm still holding over my head. As tempting as it is to smash it, I set it down and began gathering the displaced flowers with a dejected sigh. The blooms are vibrantly fresh and fragrant, but they're going to wilt without water. Gods, I just got into a screaming match with a vampire and upset him so much that he had to, I don't know, go take an angry nap? I'm still alive. I really should count this as a win, but I don't know. My chest is tight with apprehension. I wasn't supposed to annoy him. He said he'd rip me to shreds if I annoyed him. Damn it. Damn it. God damn it. What have I done? I should have offered to barter with something else. I doubt he'd be interested in the few coins I have, and I can't bear to part with my music. But he did mention an option to trade knowledge. Even if he's had centuries to experience the world around us, surely there's an obscure nugget of wisdom I can impart. After all, I like to think that everyone I meet teaches me something new. I'll have some leverage if I can figure out what he already knows. And if I can't, then I need to find something else to protect myself. The dagger will be of little use aside from cutting rope. You're proud of that little animation? I am proud of it. Chapter 3, Stray Dog Serenade. I definitely want to give credit. I've seen it in your other work as well, Imperial Grace and this game. There's just small details to your games that I really, really enjoy, and it just shows like how much thought you've put into this and like the story you want to tell. You and your team, you are like, this is what we want to tell, this is how we want to tell it, we're gonna fucking do it. And it's just little things that really make Otome games good. And I always think you knock it out of the park all the time. Ugh. Fuck. Okay, we're gonna do one more chapter because I was told that I wouldn't make it through the playthrough, and I'm taking that as a sign that Daddy's gonna talk more, and maybe Mommy here will also have some nice flirty lines because bisexual just likes to have both, okay? We just like to have both! I'm gonna go on that forever. I apologize. Night seems never ending as I creep through the estate. The vampire hasn't shown himself since our earlier squabble, though his absence does little to assuage my nerves. Assuage? Moving on. As any prey animal knows, the deadliest predator is one you don't see coming. Exhaustion weighs against my eyes, but adrenaline keeps me on edge, pulsing through my veins like a heavy drum. Oh yes, I don't think I did say. So this game, for you guys that don't know, this game was made for Otome Jam 2022, and you guys only had like a month or so to make it, like art and everything. I think you guys could have like basic plot points and like basic character designs, but like the actual creating of the game was only like 1 month. A lot of games that I'm looking at this month were made for Otome Jam 2022. And again, just the work. Just when you have a vision and you're like, I'm not cutting corners, this is what we're fucking doing, you can make good shit. They're both canonically bisexual? I feel seen. I feel represented. I could have both. This is a good night. Fuck yeah. The slightest shift of wind-blown curtains makes me jump. I keep expecting those moonlit eyes to be watching when I turn. But the shadows are always barren, devoid of vampires. Does he truly mean to sulk for the remainder of the night? That would be so cute, not gonna lie. I suppose I should count my blessings while I can. As I explore, I notice how each successive chamber is spotless and immaculately tidy, aside from the furniture I disturbed, which I take the time to straighten. Good night, Tompy. Thank you so much for hanging out with us. I appreciate you. Sleep well. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I uncover an abundance of books crowding the shelves and various surfaces. They contain an array of technical topics, including geography, astronomy, invocation, and mathematics. They're all dog-eared and full of notes. Okay, well, a negative. No, take some extra paper and throw them in there, sweetie. We don't dog-ear books in this household. I'm putting my foot down. Don't tell me he's read every book in the estate. I can't panic yet. I can still narrow this down. Assuming he takes the time to clean his most frequented spaces, I ought to pay attention to what is and isn't covered in dust. Yet even locating a single cobweb presents a unique challenge. All the dude has is time, so he's like, I'm gonna clean, I guess. I need a man like that. I need a man who cooks and cleans, and we got halfway there with a vampire. I set a book down, running my hand across the marble exterior of an engraved fireplace. Even this is pristine, unmarred by old ashes and licking flames. The nearby fire iron, at least, is an encouraging sight. I pick it up to give it a gentle swing, testing the weight, and wince when my arm throbs in protest. I have to remind myself to use my non-dominant hand. Rapunzel style. Oh, finishing everything by 9:30 in the morning. The fire iron has a dull tip that's unlikely to pierce skin, but a decisive strike should send anyone reeling, even an immortal creature of the night. You did slap him, and that had some effect. Excuse me. Of course, pissing him off by whacking him in the head is a last resort. I'm more interested in jabbing the fire iron into the ledge outside and using it as a handhold to climb my way up. The idea may sound absurd, but it could work. I won't know until I try. Look at that smile! Just the facial expressions on her are just fucking gorgeous. Although, even if I successfully scale the ledge, I'd still have to defeat the moat somehow. My gaze wanders across the chamber. If someone is wealthy enough to build a castle, they usually enjoy surrounding themselves with larger-than-life portraits. One would think that I'd have found a big enough painting to pry off the wall and right across the moat by now, but the decor is tragically modest. As I move to lower my arms, a golden glint reflects off the dark metal of the fire iron. I pivot my shoulders with cautious hope. There, thin rays of dawn's light gleam through the drawn curtains. My body practically moves on its own. I march to the window and wrench the curtains open. Morning daylight fills the chamber. I've never been happier to see the sun peeking over the mountains like an old friend. Though, the moment the curtains shift, a small beige shape moves with it across the floor. A rat? I hate rats. I've always been scared of them. When I hop away from the shape, I observe how it doesn't continue to move. It's a dead rat. I bend to inspect it, using the fire iron for support. Okay, it's just a furled scrap of parchment, brown and frail with age. It's an unusual sight, considering how free of dirt and clutter the rest of the room is. Would you look at that? You finally missed a spot. I suppose the vampire doesn't enjoy cleaning under the curtains, lest the sun sneak up on him unawares. I turn the paper over, noting the smudge of charcoal rubbing off on my thumb. Part of a larger drawing? Maybe even one of those enormous portraits I'm sorely missing. I'm sure it's worthless, but no harm holding on to it. Perhaps the vampire will appreciate my help in tidying up. I try and fail to hold back a yawn that makes my entire body shudder. The bloom of sunlight fixed in the sky, though refreshing to see, also serves as a reminder of how much time has passed, of how little sleep I've gotten. There won't be a better time to get some rest. I look about the chamber one final time. To be so surrounded by various furnishings is a mystifying sort of torture. Despite how all those nights of sleeping on the ground have left me yearning for the comfort of a cushion, I know I can't sleep here. The vampire needs only to close the curtains to accost me in my sleep. Back outside I go. With the bears? Are there bears? Okay, maybe there's not bears on, like, you know, in this area. Maybe it is just him, but still, damn. The days are long this time of year. I'll have plenty of time to try climbing the ledge when I wake. I grab a decorative pillow from the sofa. It's not much, but it'll make my cobblestone bed a little more bearable. I retrace my steps through the estate and practically collapse into the first ring of sunlight I find. That's actually really smart. I awake from a dreamless, restless slumber into the cold of evening. Sitting up with a jolt, I scan the sky with a mounting dismay. Sundown again already. How could I have slept for so long? The clenching ache in my bones and blossoming bruises on my skin reveal the answer to my unspoken question. My stamina is spent. I won't be able to run the way I did yesterday. No, damn it. I like that it still says me, a prisoner. I don't know what oh my god, there's an anime, Skip Beat, it's a manga as well, and one of the characters is a singer, so they actually did a whole song in an episode, and the song is called Prisoner in Paradise, and now I have that song stuck in my head. I'm just checking things, make sure I'm still good to go. I'm still alive. I haven't broken anything, because that will happen. I will break shit on the stream. It feels like the very shadows are reaching for me, streaking across the ground like long claws. And speaking of claws, oh god. I love that. Any screen that he's in has one side that is dark and one side that is light when it's that time of the day. And I love it. It's such minute details. Yes. From the shade nearby, the vampire looks down at me with flat displeasure. My fingers curl instinctively around the fire iron. You're still here. On the ground, no less. I cannot do him justice. Okay. I can't do him justice, but he's not going to read every line, so I've got to do it. Where else would I be? Why, I figure you would have climbed onto the roof, run some mental calculus to determine the best angle of approach, and then leapt into the moat to swim to freedom. A beat passes as I stare at him. Yes, that would be very practical, but anyone who tries it would surely splatter against the rocky ledge below. Perhaps. And even if they made it to the water, they would discover the alligators in the moat. Alligators live at the bottom, by the way. You dumbasses who come to Florida and try to swim in the lakes and stuff. Alligators don't always float at the top. They're usually at the fucking bottom with the mud, so you step on one and you lose a leg. Congratulations, you've just been edumacated. Alligators? Really? No. What the hell? I think I liked you more when you were menacing me about what crimes I committed. She dislikes the taste of her own medicine. Shocking. He folds his arms behind his back as he paces around me. I'm very aware that he can grab and drag me into the shadows if he so desires. Honey, he can grab and drag us wherever the hell he wants, and I will say one place I'm okay with. Just... Thank you, V. Posture check. But he's choosing not to. Drahoon? Drahoon. Are you a Floridian? I'm so sorry. This is big news, chat. Drahoon, are you a Floridian? What? Fuck, we're gonna have to be friends. The Florida gang beats all like competitiveness and rivalries. Fuck. That would explain a lot. True, Grant. You never did tell me what you did to get sent here. You're right, I didn't. We stare at each other now, sharing an ugly pause. But I apologize for my behavior last night, and for making a mess. Truly. He looks as though he's expecting a punchline. Yes, truly. I don't know what it's like to own an estate, but I'm sure it's dreadful having someone run through it. Indeed. Will you tell me what you're planning to do with my fire iron? What, this old thing? I could lie to him, but I see little point in it. While I've developed a skill for enthralling an audience with tall tales, it's not as if I could trick them into believing my stories are real. Unless they're children, of course. And the pacing vampire hasn't seemed terribly childlike thus far. In any case, I'm not a good liar. When one is not a good liar, honesty is by far the better policy. If you leapt at me, I would have tried to swing it at you. But I also thought I could use it as a handhold to get over the ledge. I cannot begrudge you for your caution against me. But using a fire iron as a handhold, really? The ledge is made of solid stone. What? It's old, isn't it? Surely the stone has weathered down over the years. It most certainly has not. You would begrudge me for trying everything at my disposal? I might if you ruined my fire iron in the process. Dude is like, stop messing with my shit. You need not try such inventive tactics if you agreed to barter with me. Right, yes, about that. I'll have you know I'm extremely well traveled. informed are you about recent history and new discoveries throughout the world? What makes you think I'd be interested in such things? You mentioned you were open to trading knowledge. I remember it like it was just yesterday. The lights change, it's getting darker. He can come out now. Every 2 years, I receive a new guest at my estate. Each guest has some capacity to tell me news of the outside world. I have previously offered their freedom in exchange, but hearing news of the outside world loses its appeal when one is not welcomed to participate in it. But some men and women have nothing else to give. Surely you would not deprive this opportunity from a future guest when you have more to offer than this. My loot feels heavy against my back. What else can I offer that amounts to the price of my freedom? Please. I can't give it to you. He scoffs at me. Just when I thought you were seeing sense. But I may yet be as amenable as you have been to me. Last night, I hadn't fully understood that you play music as your primary profession. Not at first. My recent slew of guests have been cutthroats and highwaymen. I forget that I've also housed scientists and artists. I presume you must be good at your craft. As such, you need your loot more than I do. The sudden and unexpected empathy leaves me speechless. He takes my silence as permission to continue. I ought to also admit, it has been a very long time since someone has told me no. It irritated me to hear, but it is within your right to say. Forgive me for making it seem otherwise. As if our cordial conversation hasn't been astonishing enough, the vampire inclines his head towards me. You're forgiven? But wouldn't everyone have fought you to the bitter end? I imagine there must have been several no's sprinkled in there. He chuckles wryly. When properly bound and restrained, one's capacity to fight to the bitter end is quite limited. I expect this lends itself to making my guests more amenable to negotiation, and to giving me anything I should desire. Oh, he really wasn't expecting me to break free of my bonds. Enough of this matter. I propose we approach this from a new angle. What do you want, mortal? If freedom has no strong appeal for you, perhaps you'd be more interested in power, in immortality. I don't miss a saccharine way he says that last word. No, I'm fairly sure I do want freedom. I can't imagine what price I'd have to pay for the other two. My stomach growls. But I could do with some food. Food. Even if I get out of here, the nearest village is miles away. I won't get far on an empty stomach. You would ask a vampire to feed you. I don't know if you guys can tell, but his facial expressions are changing in the darkness. And again, just little details. Because it's dark, there could be an excuse to be like, well, he's in the dark. We don't need to, like, make his facial expressions change with, like, the tone of what he's saying. But they are. So. A marvelously modest start to our negotiative relationship. Your empty stomach shall be filled. I should have a surplus of blood lying around here somewhere. Wrong type of food, buddy. I'm joking. I'm not so old that I've forgotten what mortals eat. Come with me. Then they put him in the light. Oh, Daddy, sorry. Mommy, sorry. Daddy, Mom, sorry. They just look so good together, too. I don't like the way they're both looking at me. They're supposed to be looking at each other, I know, but I just feel like they're looking at me because they're looking this way at the screen. Oh, why can't real people? I fall in love with too many 2D people. Fuck me. He begins to lead the way. I struggle to my feet, but I have enough difficulty steadying myself that he pauses and turns to observe me. I end up using the fire iron to help me maintain my balance, like a metal walking stick. You look pitiful. I'm sure. My apologies for not being the picture of grace after a 9-day hike with slave-driving guardsmen. Now, where exactly do you plan on taking me? The vampire is kind enough to slow his pace and walk with me in parallel tandem, though he stays in the shadows, and I in the waning light. You're astoundingly paranoid. I'm taking you somewhere I can feed you, like we agreed. You mean to feed on me, don't you? No. He says it with such disgust that I gape at him, taken aback. Oh, don't even begin to act offended. Have you looked at yourself? Filthy. Dragged through prison cells in mud. Your taste most certainly will be foul. I bite back a retort about how I'm supposed to taste. My mind. Okay, I know my mind lives in the gutter, but my mind immediately went like the lowest gutter you can think of. Like, I'm moving that fucking it clown out of the way, like, move, bitch. I gotta go deeper. My mind went so oh my god. Hydrate. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh man, I'm gonna have to fix my makeup before I do the ending, because I just feel everything running, because this is funny. Oh, my stomach hurts. More importantly, you're really not going to kill and eat me? Ever? Covered in muck as you are, I have no desire to touch you. Bitch, we need to take a shower, okay? We need to take a bath. You doubt me? I don't know. Sounds like you'll attack me the moment I'm clean. I'm just gonna keep going. Like, And I can't get a read on you. Maybe it's your fetish to lure your victims into a false sense of security. How easily you remark on strangers' fetishes. I had my suspicions that you were a traveler, but I'm certain now you could not have been raised in Alluvia. Ah yes, beautiful Alluvia, kingdom of ungrateful prudes. They don't appreciate me here at all. I'm quite certain they do not. They prudes and we are not. I love it. You may have a seat and wait here, though I can't guarantee the chairs won't bite. Very funny. He smirks a little at that, though he turns as if to hide it. The kitchen is nearby. I won't be long. I caught a glimpse of his kitchen during my exploration last night. I noticed it was stocked with well-loved pans and utensils, but I never imagined that he meant he used them with any frequency. I expect you to stay put, woefully wounded as you are. If you wander off and I can't find you, I'll have to deposit your meal into the moat. Ah, very well. I'll tame my adventurous spirit for the time being. Wouldn't want your imaginary alligators to be fed in my place. Your cat. That's in Storia. I need this line. I needed this spoken. You can't make him say good girl once and then not make him say it all the time. That's not nice. You're right, Sleepy. He can cook and he can clean. MC, we need to get a bath, okay? He can cook, he can clean. We're not gonna find that anywhere else, okay? Vampire shit aside. Immortality, there you, like, just it's fine. You're catching on. Good girl. I know mine's not as good as his. I know. Don't come at me. Don't claim victory. Don't claim victory too soon. Fuck. True to his word, the vampire returns in short order. He sets a tray loaded with roasted roots and grilled perch before me. A simple enough meal, but one of the most beautiful sights I've seen in recent memory. Yeah, we definitely haven't eaten within 24 hours. It's not a plate of blood. It is not. Shall I switch it out for you? No, I'll be quiet. I reach for a fork and slice into the fish, excited to savor my first meal in days. I take the first bite and... Oh my god, is he a shitty cook? It's awful! Okay, you can clean. You can clean, baby boy. You can clean. Oh, it's okay. I was called out in chat. I claimed victory too soon. Ladies and gentlemen, non-binaries, he can only clean, unfortunately. But still, that's more than I can do, so... Some of the prison slop tasted better than this burnt, over-salted tragedy. Even stranger, I taste hints of cinnamon, garlic, and coffee? Good night, Dawn. Thanks for hanging out with us. At this point, I have no idea what I'm eating, but I'm too hungry to stop. I must have outdone myself. Don't forget to breathe. Mortals need air in their lungs, I hear. It is delicious, isn't it? My fork pauses against my lips. Oh no! Gods, it's really not. Best meal I've ever had. No, I'm gonna be honest, because we've said we don't lie. We can't lie. It's really not. I'm not gonna lie. We need to give you some cooking lessons, because maybe I can cook. Gods, it's really not. Gods, it's really not. This is one of the worst cooked fish I've had in my life. But it tastes better than starvation. The vampire regards me with an unreadable expression. His next words are as slow as they are measured. I've served more than 100 guests in my lifetime. Not a single one of them has described it as, I quote, better than starvation, because they wanted to live, and I am respecting that. I won't fucking lie to you. I thank you for the food, because I was starving, but I'm not gonna lie to you. Christopher, hello! Sexy Spicy September, every day of September. How you been, buddy? I know, Andrea, right? Garlic? Ooh. Without constructive criticism, how will you improve? Surely you will not begrudge me for being honest. The vampire watches me finish my next bite, eyes narrowed. No matter. I care not what you think of my cooking. His lower lip is unmistakably jutted into a small pout, but I don't get to see it for long. Now that I've given you a meal, you'll now give me something I want in return. Why do you keep insisting on these inane little trades? He shrugs his shoulders with a touch of derision. It is my nature. Nothing ventured, nothing gained. No service without a cost. Fine, vampire. Can I interest you in a song? He arches a brow and says nothing, but I can tell I've piqued his interest. I've seen your books. All technicality, no whimsy. It must have been some time since you last heard a compelling story. I shift my lute into my arms, strumming it once for intrigue. A tempting little preview. Very well, Bard. A song in exchange for a meal. I lower my gaze to my lute, heaving a sigh I didn't know I was holding. Good. I just have to play a single song. It's a simple request. One I've fulfilled thousands of times over in several dozen taverns. But the thrill of anticipation is making my fingers jitter. Just yesterday, I was grimly certain that I would never perform again. Now I'm performing for the vampire who was supposed to tear me to shreds. I trace a fingernail over a single string. Then I pluck at each string sequentially, testing and tuning in turn. And then I begin to play. The vampire, who until now had a perpetual proclivity for pacing, slows and pauses mid-step to watch me with his hands folded on a writing table. My voice turns into the best weapon I've ever wielded, stronger and sharper than any knife or fire iron. Notes trickle from my lungs, rush through my throat, and pour from my lips into a song that floods the room with a tale most forlorn. The ballad I've chosen starts melancholic. It follows a young man as life takes, and takes from him. I thank you for making this in a, narrative rather than actually putting in the lines and making someone who has to make, or someone who is making content on it, sing. Because there's nothing more scary than when I'm doing games and then they're singingly, and I'm like, fuck. Because if you don't, then everyone calls you a little bitch. Watch, the next line is I'm gonna start singing. His father is the first to be taken, life cut short by a plague. His betrothed the next, abandoning him for a wealthier man. When he's brutally mugged and left for dead, he feels as though his last remnants of peace have been torn to shreds. He finds himself alone, left behind, forgotten. His mind is swallowed whole by rage and grief and self-loathing until one day, he decides it's his turn to take. He takes a torch to the stables of his former betrothed. He takes a noble woman's heart with false oaths and pretty words. He takes the world by storm, molding it like wet sand to fulfill his every desire. When I finish the song, I offer the vampire a small bow. Throughout my entire performance, his gaze clung to me like a thorn, never once wavering from my body. What a wretched protagonist. You don't like it? It's one of my most requested tavern songs. How baffling to hear that human men find inspiration in an egocentric finale. Honey, there's a version of the song with a female protagonist. It's not always requested by men. Another unexpected revelation. Although I find the song's message disagreeable, I will concede that you sung it well. Oh, thank you. We lapse into a brief silence, not quite looking at each other. To my surprise, he's the one who speaks next. This estate. I often forget what it's like to have more than the sound of my own thoughts and of cicadas crying in the night. With nothing to interrupt the passage of immortality, silence can be maddening. How much do you earn at these taverns of yours? How many songs did it take for you to afford an instrument of that quality? How many songs? Never thought of it that way. Doesn't really work like that. I looked down at my lute, running my fingers over its surface. It was given to me, which means I never actually had to pay for it. But I don't want to share that. I don't need to share that with him. Sometimes I compose original songs on commission, which is more time consuming, but affords me more gold. As for crowd work, a classic in a well-stocked bar and a good night would net me several dozen coppers and a handful of gold. I suppose it amounts to 100 songs or so if I combined the two. Of course, saving up for an artesian instrument would take even longer. Yes. 100 songs, you say? 100 songs over 100 nights, and I will ensure you have food, hygiene, and eventual safe passage from the estate. Hygiene. But if I'm clean, you'll want to suck my blood. Then you can clean in the day and dirty yourself up in the night if it pleases you. You know, it's really hard to get dirty by yourself, especially at night. I'm just gonna throw in the chat really quick. Just in case people are wondering. Do what you will. His words hang in the air between us like a haze. Despite the numerous opportunities he's had to hurt me, he hasn't laid a hand on me all night. If my safety really is guaranteed, it's a tempting deal to take. Besides, it's not like I have any other options. Just some songs and you'll let me go. You won't try to steal my loot while I sleep? You take me for a common thief? How dare you? Such an appalling accusation when you have clearly see that I still have all my fingers. The vampire raises his hands for me to see. The familiarity of the gesture is uncanny. It seemed to me that a powerful vampire like you can recover from serious wounds in an instant. You could once have been amputated at the elbow for all we know. And speaking of vampires, I seem to recall a legend that suggests your kind can't cross running water. Which means you can't leave the estate either, can you? I'm curious to know what crime you committed to be sent here. Enough. I await your song tomorrow. He stands to leave. There's something about that picture. Good night, sweet prince. Don't let the bed bugs bite. I hope you see me in your nightmares. Nah, I'm flirting, bitch! Good night, sweet prince. Don't let the bed bugs bite. You realize I'm not going to sleep. I just no longer wish to be in your company. Thanks. Then I hope the bed bugs do bite you. Keep speaking in that way and there may be more... Keep speaking in that way, and there may be more biting than you bargained for, mortal. I know he's talking about sucking my goddamn blood, but I am not thinking that. I clamp my mouth shut. He strides to the nearest window. Ooh, and then the smoke animation again. Like before, he erupts in a mist and takes off into the night in the shape of a bat. But this time, he's left me with a half-finished plate of unsauced fish. Okay, you guys, it is 10:30 and I do have work tomorrow, so I think we're gonna leave it at chapter 4. So I'm gonna save, oh my fucking god. Harmonic Conversations. Oh, I love that the title of the chapter is in the save file. That's amazing. Oops, I want to go, excuse me. Save, and I want to go to main menu. Oh, that was so good. So, Sensoria says there's a song, but it is sang by the voice actress. Is it sang later in the game? There, oh my god, Christopher Throbbing. There's a little... I don't know if it's a true enemies to lovers, but it is a little, you know, like we're not madly in love with each other immediately. I'm madly in love with both of them, but thanks, Grant. Thanks for stopping by. I'll do a little YouTube outro and then I'll come over to chat to you guys for just a bit. So give me a second. How's my makeup? Well, it's not as bad as the other night. With that, you guys, we've seen Ballads at Midnight. So as you can see, the chapters are quite short and not in a bad way. Like, we get into the action, we've gotten some information, we've met the characters. I feel like they're really nice bite-sized chunks. Like, if you wanted to bite-sized vampire. They're really nice bite-sized chunks of chapter, I think, that if you were like, okay, I'm only gonna give myself, you know, a couple of minutes to play tonight. Like, you could do a chapter like every night and it wouldn't be too much. And you would still feel like you got a lot of the story, because even in the first chapter, we got to meet the vampire. It just says the vampire, didn't it? It never said his name. So I think that's really nice. And as I was saying throughout the stream, there's just really nice small details that make the game a higher level than maybe people are expecting for otomes to be. And I think that just shows the power of like visions and teams working together. Like, otomes can be these really, really cool stories, and they're not just, you know, romancing. I mean, there's a lot of romancing involved, and there's some moments, but you guys know what I mean. If you guys like this video, check out the game down in the description box below, as well as on my social media. Again, if you like otome games, check out the rest of the playlist, because I'm posting videos almost every day on YouTube, and if it's not posting on YouTube, I'm live over on Twitch, so go check out all those videos as well. I appreciate it. And with that, I hope you have a great day, night, wherever you are in the world, and I will see you next time. Bye, guys.